Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Dead Man's Mike podcast, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. And tonight we have a very special guest. We got our brother, the other half of my other podcast, Toxic Icon, in the house. We got the Wicked Clown himself, YerrtyG. Welcome to the show.
Oh, glad to be here with y'all, gentlemen, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Craig, how you feeling, man?
Man, hey, it's that time of the year again. Just
Yes.
got back from round one, the fog, and I'm ready to chop it up with y'all, man. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, man. So hey, this episode is going to be basically I don't want to say a recap because we're going to do a lot more of being at HHN this season, but more of our early thoughts so far on what we have experienced from the event. We were in the fog last weekend and it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot to take in. Our thoughts are still very much so fresh. And so we're just going to go straight into it like this. We have HHN so far, our thoughts on many different topics surrounding the event, and our first impression on the houses. So we'll just kind of do this thing like a round table kind of thing. We'll start off with Yerty. What are your thoughts on the event so far? How did you feel about being in the fog last weekend? What can you take from it?
Well, first off, I was like a kid in the candy store.
Yeah,
We've been scratching and clawing for a year just to get back to this point, and we're finally here. So that's first thing. Secondly, I believe the event was solid between the houses, nightmare fuel, even the food that I had. The only thing I actually got to try I tried the Death by Cheese stick with Terrifier mozzarella stick with spicy marinara, which was
yeah,
extremely spicy, by the way. And then Craig and I both tried the carrot cake from the Firefly Funhouse booth
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot
because
of positives about that carrot cake.
It is
that carrot
fire.
it is fire, bro. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Pause real quick. Me and Craig could have shared it because so look, the reason I say that is because that carrot cake was man, it was enough for two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Craig, what
overall,
about you?
Um, this is I get so, ecstatic and I get so pumped and excited about HHN every year. Um, and this year so far is just top notch.
Yeah,
In terms of all the houses, the scare zones, the shows, of course, the food. This is like, you know, all around. This could very well possibly be the best well-rounded overall year that HHN has ever put together. And I say this because, in terms of houses and food, there's something for everyone. Like like you already just mentioned, the uh the fried carrot cake, amazing. Um there was and he also mentioned the death by cheese stick and the on top of that the freakishly long corn dog. That booth alone that line stretched for miles. And so
yeah,
um not only for like, the what's the word I'm looking for? The for like a trending video or whatever, the viral, just not to get a viral video, but it's actually, the food's actually really good. Even the Huskus Muscle Man slot from the Firefly Funhouse booth, like all those ingredients put together, you would think it wouldn't work. You wouldn't think it would work well, but it's good. Same thing with the Berea ramen with flaming hot Cheetos. Like, off first glance, you wouldn't think it'd be that appetizing, but you know, seeing everybody else's videos of trying the food, they're saying that it like the food don't make no sense to be that good. And so,
yeah,
you know, that just goes to show you the amount of effort put in by Universal Creative and the team to just make this an overall year. And in terms of the houses, there's just not one bad house. You know, I can't say the same thing for like, last year, even the year before that, because there was at least like one bad house. But like this year, there is like all the houses, even the one or two that's like ranked at the bottom, they're not bad. They're actually pretty solid. It's just that
Yeah.
the other houses are that good that all of the ones that are at the bottom of the totem pole, that's just where they had to go. But
Right.
what
All of them
you
can't be ranked number one. Um, yeah, dude, I agree with both of you guys, man. This year has been, first off, I know that everybody was shaky about this year with the rollout of everything,
yeah,
beginning with the house rollout, the announcements, everything. But I almost feel like that quote unquote bad rollout that they had was purposeful.
mm,
Like it was done like that on purpose. And the reason I say is because, like you said, Craig, this year is different, man. It just seems special.
yeah,
This year feels more like HHN than what we've had in quite some time. I don't know. I'm not saying that any previous years haven't felt like it, but this feels like it. The props around the park, the music playing through the park, the truss having that green color now, like just everything about it, man. It has been a really awesome year. And like you said, Craig, even the houses that are ranked down at the bottom, it's not even because they truly belong at the bottom. It's just that some houses are so good that they can't be put at the top. So I really think this event, this one was executed very well.
mm-hmm.
And with next year being an anniversary year, I'm wondering, I mean, I'm not gonna say how are you gonna top it, because Universal can definitely top something if they want
Yep, yep,
to. But it's gonna be a uphill battle, because this
for real.
this year, like, this is the way HHN should be done.
It's a
Like
return of form.
this is definitely the year I'll be sending a link to people that don't know what HHN is, so you can see what it is, because that it's on point.
Yeah.
So I definitely think, houses are kind of what we need to talk about in terms of our first thoughts on HHN34. And there's a lot to unpack here with these houses, man.
There's an entire lot to unpack.
There's a lot, man. And I think we're not going to go in any specific order. I just want to point out one house that really wowed me, that I'm not even going to lie, I wasn't expecting to be wowed by this, but I came out of it really honestly wanting more, because it was that entertaining. And that was the horrors of the YS6. I'm not even,
Yes, indeed.
and if you, and for any of y'all that watch the pod or listen to the pod, you guys know that I wasn't that familiar with a lot going on with wrestling. Like, I knew wrestling, but I don't faithfully watch it. But remember when I said I hope that this house makes people come out of it and want to go watch wrestling? This made me want to get in that community a little more.
Yes,
So
sir.
Yeah, see,
YS6 was dope.
I believe that a lot of people who aren't familiar with wrestling or Bray Wyatt, for example, I believe that a lot of them, like once they found out, he's deceased, I guarantee that they started looking up a bunch of Bray Wyatt clips on either Peacock or YouTube.
Right,
I guarantee you, to try to catch the Lord. That way they can at least be caught up when the YS6 come out as tag team champions on SmackDown.
right.
Bray Wyatt does have a whole documentary on Peacock. So those of you who do not know the backstory and the lore about Bray Wyatt, the person and the persona, you can go check that out. Get all caught up. Basically, that's honestly basically all the background information you need before you
Right.
even go through the house, because that gives you his life, his story, his background, uh, coming up through, wrestling up until his untimely passing. And that's and then it literally brings you up until this point of the houses and the group, the Wyatt Six. So, um, you know, speaking of the house, my most anticipated house, it definitely gave me what it's definitely exceeded my expectations and then some, knowing this was a passion project of the team down in Orlando, and they are big wrestling fans, as I mentioned before. And you could just tell the that they put all their love and appreciation and detail into this house. And it paid off in spades with even with people and wrestlers alike that are in the that new Bray um, that's in the WWE or not, that just come uh, to just see the house, and it's just and to uh, see and hear their reactions saying how beautiful and masterful it was and how Bray would have loved it. It literally like shows you how much they cared about it. So I was definitely I was definitely emotional coming out of that house. Um, and as a wrestling fan, there were a lot of Easter eggs and hidden details that I've seen in there. Um, Not even on my first, run through. I had to go through it a second, third time either to even catch everything. That's how you know. That just goes to show you um, how many details and thought was put into this house. And so that was very appreciated. I loved this house so much. So yeah,
Man, that house was amazing.
it
That's
was.
literally the way I can put it, is amazing because they captured the essence of what being in the WWE arena is. They also captured the essence of how dark Bray Wyatt's mind was.
Hmm.
For these characters to start off as just creatures inside the Firefly Funhouse and being brought to life, by Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, and Loomis. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
it definitely, what I really liked about it was when Craig and I went in there, I looked at him and I said, "Wait, are we basically backstage? Like, is this where all the drama takes place before you
Yep.
go out and actually wrestle?"
Yep.
That
Yeah,
shit was so dope to me. Like that was
Oh, that's
that
literally how they debuted. That's literally how the YSCs debuted. They took us um backstage and look at the carnage and the wreckage that the YS6 just brought upon
right.
everybody. That's literally how it happened. And to see that recreated was so crazy. And that's
Just the
man,
costumes were awesome in there too.
yeah.
and the
The
crazy part
costumes
is
are really cool.
Hmm.
the crazy part about it is they actually can all wrestle. Like they're not just a faction that they brought to WWE to just put fear in everybody or to place this gimmick upon them. They actually can wrestle.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I definitely I definitely think highly of that house. It was definitely one that, you have your houses that you're unsure about, and then you go through them and they change your mind. Another one that I want to talk about, and this house is catching a lot of shit from a lot of people. Grave of Flesh was hard to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I liked it. I did.
I love the concept, honestly.
Yeah, the concept was really cool. And
I'm
then
okay.
you know how you say, like, when you go through a house at HHN, you got to go through more than once. So you catch things you didn't catch the first time. It wasn't until my second walkthrough of that house where I realized, hold up, I'm actually
Yeah,
underground. Like,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
didn't realize that at first.
I ain't peeped that either. Like that was
Dirty Dick.
really a dope, thing to see, because I'm like, this is just like a dead end, like, hallway where like nothing's happening. But I'm like, but again, like you said, that second time coming, I'm like, oh, that's a tombstone. We underground. We dead.
Right.
So
You can see everything happening above you.
exactly.
Okay, so I'm torn on Grave of Flesh. The only
Okay.
reason I'm torn is because like I was able to follow the story that you're now more so in purgatory, but it made me think like, are we actually dead? Because if we are amongst the undead, why are they after us? And I know that's probably a nitpick on my end.
No, I mean all these houses tell a story. So
Hmm.
Yeah, so it makes me think like, okay, are you actually like one of the undertakers or one of the caretakers, so to speak? Because remember at the beginning that guy, he was like, the dead must be out tonight or something. The guy that was shoveling.
yeah, yep.
So yeah, I'm like, are we actually dead at this point?
True like that. That's definitely a different piece to the story that I didn't pick up on. But now that you say something, it makes sense because obviously when you start that house, you're going into the graveyard. You meet the grave
Right.
digger himself, and he says, like, the dad must be restless tonight, or he feels like the dad might be
That's what
restless
he said.
tonight.
Yeah, that's what he said. The dead must be restless tonight.
So
So
essentially, is he the antagonist?
yeah, so it's like, okay, it could just be a misconception also because of how things unfolded. Because sometimes the execution can be completely different than what the synopsis is.
Right.
Hmm.
So I might have just been overthinking it, but I just thought about like, this makes more sense this way than that way.
I
Yeah.
mean, we don't see him again, so he can very well just be like an
True.
introduction into the house. So, but I mean, to your point, Yerty, that's a great um like a great thought process to have because who knows, maybe he is the antagonist and he's just like um trying to look out for everybody that's like going through that process within the house, story wise. So you never know.
Mhm.
Yeah. You never know. I definitely what I love about that house is the detail. I
Yeah.
made a comparison talking to one of my friends the other day. The entrance to Grave of Flesh reminds me of Darkmoor at Epic.
Mm,
As soon as you come out of the portal and the path kind of takes that windy, like right where you normally see Igor
Hmm.
hanging right there,
Yes,
it
indeed.
follows the exact same path.
Path. Yep.
And there's that mausoleum right there. But instead of it being Frankenstein's, whatever, it played up on that cemetery. Like the Darkmoor inspiration in there is heavy. If you are going to HHN this year, definitely going there. If not for the scares, for the detail. You got
Yeah.
to go get some of that detail.
Definitely.
So what other houses did y'all want to hit on in terms of just first expectations or thoughts, anything? What are you guys thinking?
I will
Gawking,
say, go ahead, Yerdy.
gawking for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
So
Galkin
so that was 10
Gawking
times
was some heat.
it was
was
10
that
times better
deal.
than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be how Duel and Dragons was. Like visually just beautiful with cheeks. And and Gawking it blew me out of the water.
Yeah.
Galkin brought it, man, and I knew
Like
they would.
I actually thought that Gawking was going to be an ode to Yeti Campground Kills.
hmm,
I thought that it was going to be more of an Ice Age type of house, a
Hmm.
winter house,
that's what I was thinking.
but instead, what they showed us is that we should take HHN house titles or the names literally for what they are. They said Monsters of the North, but they didn't say the North Pole. They just said the North.
The
We were
North,
in the woods. We were in the forests.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
it,
it
and you
almost
and you know
it
what it
felt like
reminded
deep
me of.
Appalachia. That's what it felt like.
And what's crazy is that it reminded me of this movie called The Witch, the Witch, it reminded me just like that movie when we're in the Northland, and we're in the forest. We're not necessarily in the snow like when I predicted that it would be just like
Right.
Game of Thrones. Like it wasn't even like that. It was more like
Nah.
the Northland vibes in the forest, like you said. So
Yeah.
that concept in of itself, that kind of threw me for a loop, but in a good way because I didn't
It,
expect that.
it
You know
gave me
what?
deep Appalachian, like Appalachian mountain vibes.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I
what I
was
got.
getting, because if you pay attention to the scare actors in there, they were looking tribal.
Yeah, everybody was
Mm.
tribal. Yep.
You saw the tribal signs going into the house.
I was gonna say all the different tribal writing and things, the different messages written in different ancient tribal literature and things like that on the walls and
Hmm.
everything.
Now, the
I
one
think
thing
that's
though,
what
they
made me
had
like it
the Black
even
Witch.
more.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Yerdy? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the one thing though, they had the Blair Witch hanging when we walked in there.
Oh,
The little the stick figure.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what like
So it had me think,
I think that's what like that tribal sign was because I seen it everywhere. Throughout the
Hawkins
house.
was some heat, man.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Falcon,
yeah.
telling you.
Gawkins should be higher up on the list for me, but it's like Craig said earlier. It's just pretty much every house was just that good. You had to put something lower on the totem pole.
Yeah. I gotta
I
be honest. I really
but
enjoy Hatchet and Chains too.
mm-hmm. I thought I wouldn't enjoy. I thought I really wouldn't. You know, but that's just me, and along with you, Nick, about Mardi Gras murders not being there. I was like, you know what?
Opportunity missed.
Like it could like, but you know what's crazy? Um, a lot of people whose videos I watched, they were kind of not to say that they were, you know, crapping on the house or whatever, but they were kind of feeling like us both when it could have been Mardi Gras murders. Like it was literally right there.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the
Yeah.
like that along with some other segments of Slaughter Cinema 2 last year could have been a house. Like
Yep.
nobody was really thinking about Hatchet and Chains, but in retrospect it worked out because Hatchet and Chains was actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was solid. I feel like when you break down all of the movies that were displayed in Slider Cinema 2, and you can only choose one, it just kind of comes down to I don't know if maybe they all took a vote around the table, which got the majority. Like, I don't know, but I would like to see a trend of each Slaughter Cinema movie come to life, though,
That works.
because I'll get expressed just to hang out at Mardi Gras Murderers all night.
Yep, yep. But
For real.
um but what's crazy about what you just said when you know everybody sitting around a table taking votes, that's pretty interesting because maybe Mardi Gras murders did get the most votes, but maybe they chose Hatchet and Chains to you know to not let things get as simple because they don't want because when it comes to HHN, there's no such thing as being simple or having or like a house just being like a simple minded thing and they just choose on the top and they just throw it all together. No, maybe they want to take a challenge like, hey, this hatching and chains idea,
Right.
how can we really develop and turn it into like a full fledged house? So maybe they wanted to do it for the plot. Who knows?
Right. Right. Exactly. Who knows? Well, another one we got to hit on, and Yerdy, I'm definitely curious about your thoughts on this. But we got to talk about Art the Clown, man, because
Yes, sir.
this is the year. This is the year Art in a major way. He is everywhere.
Literally.
He is everywhere. What were you all's thoughts on Terrifier?
That house was nasty.
Yeah.
Like that's the only word, nasty. Because
Yeah.
so first and foremost, as you know, y'all know I'm not a big Terrifier fan after watching the movies.
Hmm.
Which don't come from me in the comments, y'all, because I like what I like. But the thing is, it's been time. Like Arthur Clown is undeniably a slasher icon.
Yeah.
And so if they would have continued to not have him at HHN, they'd be doing themselves a disservice.
That makes sense.
Like for real, like that house, when I say that's one of the nastiest haunted houses that I've ever been in my life, bro. Especially with the smells. Like I actually smelt it. I smelt it in the bathroom.
Hmm.
And
Dude,
I'm
that bathroom smelled like actual ass.
like, I had to walk through. Like I had to walk through the house like this.
And
Yeah.
you know what's crazy? I was kind of like when that scene came, call me a sicko, but I was kind of getting my nose prepared, trying to smell it. But what's crazy is that in my first run in the Terrifier house, I didn't smell it for real, which was interesting.
But remember,
Maybe
we
they,
all. Oh, you know what? You know what? Never mind. I thought about it. We did go at the end of the night.
maybe, yep, we did. It was like the last house of the night when I went inside,
Yeah.
and they didn't really. Maybe they turned it off because by that point it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and that's when
Yeah.
the last shift goes in there for the last 30 minutes, and that's it. And they turn the lights on. That's it. So, but I will say earlier on in the night on that Friday, uh, I really smelled it, and so I was like, okay, okay. But they really turned up the heat in that house. Like it was terrifying in all its glory, and they did that house justice. Like I loved how you went through the different kills in all of the films, and um, it's honestly a love letter to Terrifier. Really, all the greatest hits, like they said it would be, and uh, this was definitely indeed the glorious house that Egyptian has put together so far.
You know what?
So
So,
far.
Sidebar.
um,
Shout out to Joanna, man. She was up for the challenge.
I
Yeah.
will say that.
She faced her fear of clowns, but she also ran from him on on the street.
Yeah, she did. She seen it was up going the other way.
But
So, yeah,
she faced her fears in the house. I mean, she cried a little bit. She ran a few times. She screamed to the top of her lungs. But instead of she actually was up for the challenge. That's my sidebar on that.
but yeah, that and with the wet and the wet and dry path, uh, that was great. I think um I think the fact that there was a wet and a dry path, like there was an option that was good because there's some people that don't want to get wet, some people that do want to get wet. Depends. There's two different endings, so hey, who says no to two different endings? But me personally, I took the wet path every single time because
Wet
you
path.
know wet
Wet
Yeah,
path
path.
all day. So
yeah.
you ain't having no fun unless you're going down a wet path.
Yeah.
Hey, I told Art, I was looking up, I was like, hey, you know where I'm going? I'm going down that wet path. So
Dude, the
you
wet
know,
path it's fun because you end up sprinting down that bitch, but like
yeah.
it is submerged. Like those
But
Yeah.
there is water everywhere.
like I will say that I don't think I've had um like besides another house that we're gonna talk about, in a minute, I haven't had that much fun in a house in a while.
Yeah.
It was all good vibes. Like it was like because art is goofy, so
Yeah.
it's not like it was. It had its scary moments. Don't get me wrong, but art is all around goofy. You having a good time up in there. So
Yeah, it was a
Right.
party.
So we got to move on to the overall theme and vibe of Horror Nights as a whole right now. I just want to say John Murdy and Michael definitely said that what they wanted to hit on was that gothic aesthetic. They wanted you to see the gargoyles and really feel like you were in gothic horror. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I really did like Grave of Flesh,
mm,
because Grave of Flesh really portrays that. But also the scare zones, especially Origins and Masquerade, really portray that too. So I don't know how you guys feel, but I definitely feel like the overall vibe of the event so far is a 10 out of 10. And I was rocking out in club horror. So
definitely.
yeah.
The overall vibe to me, they definitely succeeded because I don't know if you all caught this, but um, Sergio, the audio of Sergio was around the park. It was like a, it was like a,
Yeah.
it was like a well detailed story. Like I was literally in the Men in Black queue, and I heard Sergio talking about his paintings, and I'm like, well, because El Artista and the Gothic theme kind of mesh well together, and that's the overall story and the vibe that's going around the whole event. I mean,
Right.
Sergio is he's honestly the de facto icon of this year.
He
So
really is.
and
Right.
so that vibe all around just did not stop, and that's what made me feel so immersed, within the overall theme and vibe of HHN this year. I loved it.
Yeah. Nah, that was a definite vibe. And also they definitely talked about Sergio not necessarily being an icon as big as Jack or Oddfellow,
Mm.
but I think they are kind of grooming his character to become that next big character. I don't know if you all might agree with that or not, but I kind of feel like it's a slow launch, but I feel like Sergio might become the next big horror night icon.
Yeah, because look at the opening ceremony.
Right.
Now
Yeah,
he wasn't present for the opening ceremony, but his voice was all throughout it.
that's
That,
true.
yeah. Yep. Nope. I definitely think that he will become that person. And speaking of that, we have a tie on the schedule here, and we have Yerty and Craig's top three houses so far are the exact same three.
Exactly.
Jason Universe, El Artisa, and the YS6. Yerty, you already talked about YS6, so we're not going to go into that. But talk to us about Jason and El Artista. What is it about those two houses, and why did they make this list?
Okay, so El Artista, first off, that was on the top of my hype list
Yeah.
because it's just something about that story that was speaking to me. From the moment that they announced the Spooky Empire, I said this is gonna be House of the Year, or if it
Yep.
doesn't become House of the Year, this house is gonna be so detailed and it's gonna have these creepy elements, just like Dead Man's Pier.
Yeah.
Now,
The
as far as
detail was crazy in there.
yes, like that facade was humongous. Like it made you believe that you were entering like a Spanish home.
Yeah.
Now,
That was so cool.
Yeah,
and most people didn't catch this if you were to look it up. There was actually a gargoyle flying around.
I did not peep that.
I didn't peep that.
I didn't peep that till I saw influencers in the houses. I
Was
didn't
this when
even.
you first walk in?
No, no,
No,
no.
this is. Go ahead.
So you remember the room where the ghillie suit was at, along with the statue lady?
Was this like the courtyard scene?
It was
Yes.
like it
Yeah.
was like in the it was like in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, the gargoyles flying left to right.
Now that's see another reason why I have to go through it again because I obviously missed something.
Yep. I missed that all the runs in the house, and I was like, "What?" It was over my head the whole time. I didn't even noticed.
Didn't even realize it.
Crazy.
I just so happened to catch it because I was looking up the second time because the first day it was just me, Craig, and Joanna, and I
Mhm.
caught. I'm like, hold on, and then when we went through on Friday, I remembered I need to pay attention before I miss it. Now, as far as Jason Universe, I already knew this house was about to be brutal, and I don't really know between this and Insidious from last year. I don't know which was scarier.
Honestly,
That's
I still think Insidious takes the cake. It being the scariest house that I've ever done, but Jason Universe is slowly creeping behind them because I'm just all I'm gonna say is once you go through that mask, it's on. It is on.
when you go through that mask, it's on.
It is straight up in your face intense. These guys that's playing Jason are I don't know where they even I don't even know where they found them, but they like 6 foot, 260, 70 pounds of like pure muscle and like bro, like I don't even know how they did it. They must have went on the recruiting trail because I'm telling you, they like hold
People,
they like D1 linemen, and that's insane. And they were all back to back to back like that. So
yeah,
hey,
dude. When
And
you go
all
through
of them,
that mask, just know when you see that mask,
it's
get ready.
it's
on.
Because
yeah, like
that
and it's
house, yeah.
and it's so crazy because every last one of them was stupid aggressive.
Yep, in your
They wasn't
face.
they wasn't just like and go back in. No, they was on it.
Yeah. Like if they could have come out on the floor, they would have.
Even like the side characters, the victims were aggressive.
Yeah,
Like like
definitely.
like Mrs. Voorhees was aggressive. The one guy that
For
was
real.
like he was aggressive too.
That whole house was aggressive. For real, for real.
Man, for real, that's one of those houses that if this your first time going to a haunted house, you might pass out.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna
Greg,
let you.
any thoughts?
Um. Now I will say that in terms of Jason Universe, I had a feeling that something was going to blow my mind when it came to Jason Universe. And like we just talked about with going through that mask, that was a part that blew my mind. I
Yeah,
did not I did not realize that it was gonna be that intense at the end. Um I didn't realize how intense it was gonna be throughout the house because there was points where I didn't know that there were points in the house that I didn't know that there were like scare points where Jason was gonna just pop out or victims for that matter because it's so well executed and it's done so well because you're literally going through the house and it's just scare after scare after scare, you know,
Mhm.
but barring um the last like minute and a half when you go through that mask at the end, it's just like that house just brought the energy. And
yeah,
it wasn't even like you're going through the house and you're like, oh, this is gonna be intense. This is gonna be crazy. You're not even feeling that when you first go in the house. You're just feeling like an eerie sense of uh of dread and uh like restlessness, like, oh, where's he gonna come from? And like how how people described it literally plays into that same mantra of Jason being this supernatural figure and how he can just teleport, how he could just teleport everywhere and just pop out at any given moment. It's the Jason universe took the cake, man. And every single time you go through that house, it is something special. I'm not even gonna lie. So
Yeah.
well done. Well
Yeah.
done.
Well, definitely well done. I have to say my top three looks a little different, and that is by one house. LRTista and Jason Universe have made my list, but the only difference is that I'm replacing the YH6 with the
Yep.
underrated Dawes Let's Play Dead.
I know it.
Bro,
I had a feeling.
this house is so underrated so far in
It
the
is
event.
so
It
good.
is
It's so good.
so good.
Yeah.
And I think what I like about this house is that, remember, I told you this house has that property where it could actually be very creepy or it could become the comedy house. And it rides a fine line there, with that title, like which way is this going to go? But they
There was
went
no
the
comedy.
complete creepy direction with this.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, what I also liked about it was that they thought outside of the box. If you didn't realize when you started, you're in a toy box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're brought down to miniature size. You're in a toy box, and then from there you're in the actual doll house itself. So you aren't human sized anymore when you're in this house. You're one with the dolls themselves.
Mm-hmm.
right. Because you saw like the outlet, you saw the mouse trap with the mouse tail on it.
Yep.
You actually
Yep.
saw the UPS box and everything.
Yeah. I really I really found this house to be something really cool, and I feel like they thought outside of the box and they did it right, man. And that's why it is, on my list. It's just creepy. It's eerie. The sound effects in the house is eerie. There's one specific mannequin that they have in there up against the wall, and she's got a paper clip like thrown like through her head, like
That's
safety
sick, man.
pins and all that. And you
Mm-hmm.
got to think about it. Think about all the stuff that was going on this summer with Annabelle and everything. They announced this house that's about dolls. So now people are already not really messing with dolls to begin with. So you take the property and turn it up a notch.
Yeah. Another thing
Mm.
that really excuse me, that really uh made me love dolls is uh the the smells too, because it literally smelled like how a little girl's room would smell,
Yeah.
and they were strong, and the costume design in there top tier, amazing. Because I
Yep.
went to I went to Dolls Let's Play Dead like, oh, I thought this was gonna be like another version of you know Chucky. I was hoping that they didn't really like mess this up, but it totally blew me away. And the thought and the detail within the house was truly great. And
Yep.
there are a few Easter eggs in there too. I'll give you one example that's clear as day. There are some batteries from BuzzCon inside
There
the
are some
house.
batteries from BuzzCon in there.
So that
Yep.
again, the continuity between Bugs and even at the Toxic 20 Scare Zone, like the continuity, I love that. I love that Universal does that. They keep this continuity going and fresh amongst the originals. I
Right.
love
They
that.
tie everything in.
I look. They tie
Yeah,
everything together so well.
What we
it's
saying?
really subtle because yes, I said like the tie-in is really subtle because to the person who's not paying that attention to it, they wouldn't even know that.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Nah, that it was executed very well. Very well. I mean, Yerty, you and I have been through how many dollhouse themed haunted houses before, and I have yet to be, to go through one that wasn't really creepy like that. And I
Right.
feel like
This one was different.
Universal was the one that could have gone that route, but they didn't. So
I'm glad they
But
didn't take the comedy route.
yeah, me either. Because they got a banger of a house there.
Right. And
I
then Lila was messed up for what she did.
man, I feel bad for them toys, man.
When I figured out what was going on, I went,
I said,
Yeah.
I
Right.
was like,
yeah, dude, that was wild.
Sid from Toy Story, that's his little sister.
Right.
for real,
Now,
for
how
real.
do you guys feel about Circus of Decay? Is it better than Nocturnal Circus? It's still nightmare fuel at the end of the day. But where are we? After hearing you guys' thoughts when we were talking about this, I think that they are pretty even for me, but I enjoyed both. They were both awesome shows.
So I believe that Nightmare Fuel, it took not until the second half, it took that shift to being better than Nocturnal Circus.
Yeah.
Because like Craig, you and I were sitting right next to each other, and we figured it out immediately. This is a sequel
Mm-hmm.
to Nocturnal Circus because
Mm-hmm.
it picked up right where it left off.
Basically,
Even all the way down to the speech that the guy makes in the beginning.
yep.
It was like, yeah. What do you say? Yeah, this, I watched her die 1,000 different ways for 1,000 nights. And then he
Mm-hmm.
picked up the little music box. And at first I was like, this is the same show from last year. And then as it went on, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a
And
little
then
it was a
like I
little
said, the
bit
second
tweaks here and there.
yeah.
It was a little bit of tweaks here and there, but it was more so. I was like, as soon as I saw them drop the name title, I was like, oh yeah, this is a sequel. He gonna say for at the end. Lo and behold,
Yeah.
he did. So, but I will say this is the best. Like other people have said, this is the best Nightmare Fuel show they have ever put on. And um, maybe it was, there is a simplicity there because knowing that it is a sequel, a sequel show, but um, I don't know, maybe it was just the overall vibe and the you know, the the same type of acts, but they were like turned up a notch. And the fact that they brought that contortionist this year,
Oh,
man, he
Yeah, that
brought
was
it.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
don't know about y'all, but that took this show over the top. And I think honestly, I think that was the one factor that Nightmare Fuel was missing. It was missing something special. And hey, that contortionist, man,
Yeah.
hey, that was my favorite segment of the show. Like it was like it was weird and it was nasty, but I couldn't look away because I was like, bro, like how's this man doing this? Like that's crazy.
exactly.
That's like a honestly that stuff like that's a God given gift because I can't contort my body like that. Like how can you
No.
do that?
Right.
So
And
And
when he did that shit, the whole crowd lost it.
man,
Yeah.
and the fact that
yeah.
everybody knew, and the fact that everybody knew who he was when he came out, everyone was like, "Oh, here we go!" Like it was like people were. I was like, "Oh, people are starting to murmur." So,
Right.
so you know, everybody knew it was going down. So, hey man,
Yeah. No, it definitely did. Nah, that was
As much as I love Nightmare Fuel, once it gets close to the 30-minute mark, I'm like, man, it's about to be over. And I really want more. I want so much more.
I
yeah,
hope it doesn't end.
that's kind of the thing with Nightmare Fuel because it's only like like a 30-minute show, and um, it's not like they can like stretch it out, um, because after like the amount of energy and showmanship put into the show, they need like a whole hour to just rest up and just get themselves right for the next performance.
Yeah.
So you know, uh, props to props to the team, the performers, the actors, actresses. A an A1 performance indeed, an A1
Yep.
performance.
And before we close it out, I just want to say, make sure, even if you're an out of towner, that you try to get down there, get to Hollywood or whatever more than once, because like we have preached so hard on their shows, like every house run through is not the same each time.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a different version. Like I
At
just
all.
discovered that there was a whole ass gargoyle flying above me in LRT style. I didn't even know it. I have to go back and see it. You definitely got to go do those things, and we will be in Hollywood first weekend of October. Man, I'm excited about that. Craig Yerrty, I know you all are excited about that. Um,
Yes, indeed.
and we'll keep reviewing as it goes along, because even our thoughts and opinions could change. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is subject to change. That's how it goes. During HHN. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we close out? Yerrty, where can they find you? Most people probably already follow you, but anyway, for anybody who's checking this episode out and they don't know YerrtyG, where can they find you?
You can find me, of course, on my personal page, which is my artist page, YerrtyG, YerrtyG, all one word, no space. Or you can find me on Toxic Icon Pod, ToxicIconPod.
Yep.
And my last thoughts, really, I knew FNAF was not going to be scary, but I'll pass on that house.
And not too many people are sharing that same sentiment, so they're gonna come for you.
Hey, they might come for me. And it's crazy because I played the first and the third game. The
Oh
thing is,
man.
it's just, yeah, I knew that was supposed to be the cool house. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was. It was cool. Like seeing the movie and playing the game, like knowing the lore, it was great. It was visually, it was great. It was a delight to the senses. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Nigga also knows I was not a fan of the movie.
Yeah, Yerrty, just they haven't sung his vote yet.
Yeah, I'm just a horror movie critic. That's all.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm looking forward to this second round of HHN along with Hollow Screen. So we will be there
Along with
next
Hollow Scream.
next week.
Next week,
Yeah.
along with Hollow Scream, man, we are very excited about that event too. We'll have some thoughts about that too, because it's gonna differ from HHN, but in a positive way. It's its own thing. This is Hollow Screen 5 versus HHN34. So
So hey,
yeah,
HHN had a
it's
head start.
a major head start, but it's gonna look different, but we'll still have a blast with it. So hey,
I'm looking
make sure
forward
you
to
following everybody on all their platforms. Follow all of us in our personal. Follow Toxic Icon Pod. Follow GhoulieCon, first ever horror convention for content creators by content creators. Make sure you go follow it. Dead Man's Mic for all the HHN content all year long. As soon as this event ends, we're gonna start speculating. So make sure you stay tapped in with us, man. We got a lot to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, y'all stay tuned for the Hollywood recap. Maybe even a little something after our second round in the fog.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we'll see you all out there in the parks, man. And we'll see y'all soon.
get that cheese steak.
Definitely go get it.